What's up, everybody? Naomi back with IGN's E3 live show, streaming straight to you from e3.ign.com. It's been years since we've seen Shinobi back in action, so let the celebration begin. IGN's own Ninja Master is here to talk about the game.
Hey everybody, this is Sam. Right now we're going to be looking at Shinobi for 3DS. With me here is Steven. So can you tell me a little bit about this new Ninja game?
Sure, Shinobi, it's coming out for the 3DS. The main thing we tried to accomplish with this game is sort of capturing the classic feel of the original Genesis titles. The team is really just enamored and in love with those classic gameplay of the old Shinobi titles. So we wanted to kind of go through those titles and kind of pull the bits and pieces that were some of the best stuff, and then sort of modernize it and improve upon it for today's action audience.
Sure. Now I know that Shinobi has been on multiple platforms. It's been in the arcade originally, and it was a really popular arcade game. And then there's also a PS2 game that was kind of a 3D action game. So I know a lot of us weren't sure what to expect, if it was going to be a side-scroller. And it looks like as you said, it's more like the Genesis era games. I know like Shinobi 3 is a really popular Genesis game. Can you tell me a little bit about like what the most influential Shinobi game of all is for this? Like, if fans of Shinobi 3 are going to be expecting Shinobi 3 again, or is it just really different?
I think that you consider it sort of a greatest hits of the series for sure. So things like the things that the fans love, like the horse riding and the way that some of the attacks work and function, we're pulling some of that stuff and sort of integrating it now, and it sort of feels like the greatest of the Shinobi franchise, right? So, and even things like the PS2 version, like you're talking with Hatsuma, the scarf, we fell in love with the scarf and how it moves in the PS2 game and loved that and wanted to add it to our game. So you'll see that Jiro, the main character, has a scarf around him as well.
Okay.
So, you know,
that's the red thing we see hanging
Exactly, exactly. And the whole capturing the game, we wanted to keep the visual style sort of very basic, but still unique in its appearance. Wanting to capture again that feeling of the old days of the Genesis.
Sure. I noticed in the original Shinobi games, you're a ninja, but you walk very slowly and you kind of toss out ninja stars, and it's very stiff. This game doesn't look like that at all. In fact, you're running right from the start and hopping around, and there seems to be a lot more moves. Can you kind of run down like what kind of moves we're going to be seeing?
Sure. In the classic days, for sure, the moveset is pretty limited. In most cases, it's sort of a one-hit kill in most situations. We wanted to evolve that and add a good combo system with juggles and a dedicated parry button. So again, to modernize it for the expectations of action fans. So we have the classic Vino juggle enemies. Exactly, exactly. So you can parry any attack pretty much that comes your way, whether it's a projectile or melee attack. And you can do it pretty much at any time, so even during jumps. So you have situations where you're jumping, you're parrying an attack your way, and then jumping out of it. There's a lot of continuous. It's all about the pattern and the flow of the gaming. And to build upon that, we have a multiplier feature, which is in the top right corner. As you see, as she goes through, as she defeats enemies, the meter will build up. And as it builds up, you get additional abilities like you can run faster, you can jump higher, and your attacks are a little bit stronger.
Is that a permanent change, or is that something that...
Exactly, it keeps going until you get hit. So there isn't a max limit to it. If you can sustain it, it's awesome.
So it's almost like a classic shooter, like where you get like Gradius or something, where you get power-ups and you get better and better and better, but you get knocked back to square one again if you get hit?
Exactly, that's how it works, and it really, you start to get in the flow, and we have that classic pattern-based gameplay that people love. So once you learn these enemies and you can determine what their attack rates are, you can kind of really flow through, and it feels very organic and interesting.
Now you mentioned you're going to be riding a horse in some of the scenes. I remember the famous horse scene from Shinobi 3, big green field, and I believe ninjas hop out from the background and attack you. And there's also a surf scene in that game. And are you going to be surfing on horses in this game? Or?
Not on horses, but we do have these things called action sets. And you know, for the most part of the game, we have this side-scrolling left to right, right to left sort of sequences. We have camera adjustments and things to sort of spice it up a little bit, but we also have action sets such as riding the horse, where you're kind of going more into the screen, kind of selling the 3D a little bit more.
Kind of behind the character.
Exactly, and we sort of reduce your arsenal of moves and try to keep it more arcade feeling.
Okay.
And we do have sort of the surf sequence as well that we're going to reveal later, but at least for this demo, there is the horse riding sequence.
So I'm seeing some bombs blowing up on screen. I remember in the original Shinobis, everything exploded. Everything you hit exploded. Are we going to see some exploding enemies in this game?
Exactly. I mean, we have the artistic touch to it again, so we sort of modernize it. In this case, for the normal ninja sort of enemies, when you strike them down, they sort of explode into these shadowy birds, trying to keep a unique look, right? So still captures the feel of what Shinobi is about, but modernizing and kind of giving it a fresh coat of paint.
Cool. So we're seeing the horse scene right now.
Exactly.
Are there going to be several of these in the game, or is this just a one-off?
The horse stage is one-off. We didn't
like
want
an action
to
segment.
exactly. We wanted to make each action set very unique. The controls very unique for each of them as well, to add a little variety and break from the traditional action.
Okay.
So the horse, you play the horse level in the first stage, but then for the other stages, there's something completely different.
And since we're going to be playing this on the 3DS, it looks like this is going to be one of the more 3D heavy scenes, right?
I think so. Yeah, we wanted to have some things pop off the screen, but really, you know, we found out after a little bit of testing that having too much explosions and stuff coming off the screen gets a little bit tiring on the eyes.
Okay.
It detracts from the action.
Sure.
So what we try to sell really is the depth of the environment and adding sort of another layer to it so that you feel like you're in this open space.
Okay.
And there are obviously the moments like the trees and stuff that pop off the screen, but again, we wanted to sort of just paint this, you know, you're in this large area and you're running around.
Cool, and I saw Shinobi has some new stuff. He has a grappling hook, for instance.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the new equipment and moves?
Sure, the grappling hook is so important in this case, especially for the platforming, because in those instances where you're just about to make a jump and you need that little bit extra help, you can shoot out that grappling hook and grab onto ledges. Also, we have flying enemies and enemies that leap over you in the game. You can shoot that grappling hook up and drag yourself up to attack them in the air as well.
Okay.
So it serves a multi-purpose. It's kind of a nice navigational tool, but also as an offensive item.
Cool. And this is going to be the son of the original ninja, right?
Actually, it's his father. His name's
his father,
Jiro.
sorry.
Jiro. So Joe, who everyone used to love in the classic Shinobi days, we're really working to expand the whole lore and story behind Shinobi. So now, for the first time, you get to play as Jiro, Joe's dad.
Okay. Is there anything else you can reveal about the storyline?
We're really kind of keeping it kind of tight-lipped right now,
Okay.
but just the locations that he's going are very expansive. It's a nice variety of locations, and so I think there's a lot of surprises for our Shinobi fans.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Steven. Shinobi looks like an awesome remake of the classic series, and I can't wait to see more of it.
Thank you.
Back to you, Naomi.
Thanks a bunch, guys. And as a quick reminder to our fans, don't forget to friend us on Facebook for exclusive content. Just point yourself to facebook.com/IGN. Okay, up next, we're going back to the streets with the Saints. Saints Row 3 is next.